Dropping now. Stand by for Titanfall.
Hello everybody, I'm Coolin. This may not be the cool gaming you're expecting. That'll come later on. It'll be about nostalgic Lego games. But this one, I decided that before I talk about Lego, we need to talk about robots. I bought Titanfall last night, and it's probably one of the best games I've played this year. It's amazing. I've had a lot of fun playing it. It's almost perfect. Almost perfect. Yes, unfortunately, there are some parts of this game that I just do not like. Just say it. But before I talk about that, let's talk about the good parts. The Cardinal 3, graphics, gameplay, story. Graphics. Fantastic. I haven't seen any glitching. The very fast-paced motion that you see in this game, that works really well. The way that they did them, you can tell that a lot of effort was put in them. It's very immersive. I can feel like I'm there while I'm playing it. They just create a very good environment and atmosphere, which I think is very important with graphics. Gameplay. Oh my god, the gameplay is amazing. I mean, it's not just like a regular first-person shooter. There's very complex maneuvers that you have to pull off with the wall running and stuff that you don't really think you'll be using the wall running very much when you're in the tutorial, but you're using it all the time. And I mean, the weapons that they've made, they're very imaginative, very creative. It's very well made. And the story is where I have my first complaint. So, in most games, in this one, there's a campaign mode. However, in this one, the campaign really doesn't exist. Let me elaborate on that. Yes, I know, there is a campaign menu. But when you go into the campaign menu, what you'll find is a bunch of multiplayer matches strung together with a weak storyline that really, at least in my experience, doesn't go anywhere. I say in my experience because I wasn't able to get through more than 2 or 3 matches before I just gave up. The reason being, when I would join the lobby, I would be sitting there, and I'd be waiting, and waiting, and waiting. 20 minutes later, I'd have the full roster, because you need 12 players in order to start a match. You'd have the full roster, but then once it said, okay, match starting in X amount of seconds, like 10 seconds later, like half the people would leave. And you'd have to sit there again and wait for more people to start. And it just got tiring after a while because why not just play multiplayer? You're getting the same experience they're getting from this campaign mode, but you're just adding a lot of unnecessary waiting. So that kind of bums me out, because when I typically play these games, I prefer the campaign to the multiplayer because I'm not very good at these kinds of games. Other people are, I'm just not. And I prefer playing against either bots or even the multiplayer campaign. Alright, that's kind of weird, but I can deal with that. The multiplayer campaign, I like playing against those people, but when there's no story, when there's a weak story, and you have to suffer to play it, it's just no point. When it's the same thing as the main function of the game, why even put it in? Just do what they did with Quake 3, and just completely ditch the idea of a single-player campaign. Or make the multiplayer, integrate that somehow with the single-player campaign, or I don't know. Speaking of multiplayer, this brings up the second problem I have. It's not that there's multiplayer, because that would just make the whole game bad. But it's more specifically the matchmaking system. Recently, I've been playing a lot of MOBAs. Dota, League of Legends, Smite, all great games. And how they do their matchmaking, they have the low-level players, the middle-level players, the high-level players, and people in between. And how they do it is they keep people in their respective groups. And what Titanfall does, and the low-level players, middle-level players, high-level players, people in between, and they mash them all together into one just complete mess of unbalanced chaos. And this kind of sucks, because in League of Legends, or whatever game you're playing with the kind of balanced matchmaking, you're playing with a group of your peers against your peers, and you're all at the same skill level, so there's a great chance that you will in fact survive, and you'll get higher levels, and you'll get better at the game. But when me, a low level 3, let's say, and I'm going up against a level 40, then I mean, what's the point? He's obviously going to win. It's comparing rabbits to bears. I mean, there's a low chance that I'll win. But I mean, it is a 6-man team, and it is a team effort. So, and I did find myself winning a good portion of the matches. So, even if it's not terribly balanced, it does, you do have a good chance of surviving, which is another thing I love about Titanfall, because even with this bad matchmaking system, they still find a way to balance it out so it's fun for everyone. But in the end, Titanfall is a great game. I recommend it. Another reason to buy it, if you act very quickly, when I bought it last night, I was able to get Dead Space for free because it was on the house with Origin. I'm not sure how long that'll last, but go check that out, see what's on the house at the moment. That's fun, I got that for free, so I'll be playing that next. So, yeah, buy it, pick Dead Space up for free, both great games. So yeah, final score for Titanfall, 9.7 out of 10, because it is almost perfect. And to the campaign, they don't expect them to fix the campaign, but the matchmaking system they can fix. They just got out of the beta, or they're in the beta for a new matchmaking system where I don't know what they're changing, but I don't know. It's cool how whatever they're doing. It's cool, but since they've already shown that they can change how the matchmaking system algorithms or something works, what they could make it so it is this balanced system. And I mean, I get that they can't just focus off of like one or two people's criticisms, but I mean, I don't see how this is not beneficial to anyone to change it to this way, because I mean, everyone will be at the same level. Everyone will be playing with their peers. The high levels will have to deal with inexperience, and the inexperienced will have to deal with the experience. And it'll just make it a lot more fair, and a lot more encouraging to play. But that's just my 2 cents. Hi guys, just before I go on my usual spiel about liking us and donating, I would just like to point out that me and Taylor, he's posted some videos on here, I'll link up here somewhere, and we'll be at PAX East next weekend. And you can expect a lot of cool pictures, a lot of cool videos, and lots of fun stuff. We'll have lots of fun, and I hope to see some cool things coming from people this year. Anyway, so as usual, like us on Facebook at facebook.com/extremegamerbros. You can support us by donating to us at extralife.org/team/EGB. All the money's going to a really good cause, so please check us out there. As always, thank you for watching once again, and I'll see you next time on Cool Gaming. Thank you.